Plan for 2026 is also to buy more Bitcoin.
I bought a car again, which is wonderful.
Supplementation with protein powders has been a big thing this year, I think.
The only investment I'll be making in 2026 is... Welcome everyone to today's episode of The Smoke Room. My name is DC. We've got Bobby and Ash here. We're doing a Christmas special and we're talking about, first of all, a bit of a review over the last year of what we kind of did as far as investments and trying to get ahead is concerned. And then we're going to go into a bit of a dive into what we're planning to do high level in 2026. So let's kick it off. Welcome, guys. Good to chat with you again. It's been a week or so. Yeah, it's been a week. 2 weeks, actually, I think. Who wants to go first as far as reviews are concerned of over the last year? What's happened in your live investment side in 2025?
Yeah, well, mine's pretty easy. I got big into Bitcoin. Yeah, I bought a lot and also got into mining. So that's what I did.
Nice. So this was like the first year for you of really getting into Bitcoin kind of heavily.
Yeah, I've followed it and bought a little since like 2017, but I had no conviction. I didn't know really what I was buying. I was just looking for number go up, and now I'm actually going in as an investment, knowing the fundamentals and also building hash rate to mine it.
Then Lambo.
No,
Lambo. Moon Lambo eventually.
Eventually, that comes later.
That's the winner,
That's the
right?
dream.
That's the dream. Yeah, that's when you've won it at the end. Have you got any other sort of... Are you just like full in on Bitcoin over the last year? Like you haven't invested into anything else, like commodities, rare metals, things like that at all?
Yeah, I bought a silver coin, but that wasn't really for an investment. It was more to understand the metals market, and that's gone up by a ton. I think it's over like 130% over the year.
Bloody hell.
It's crazy what it's been doing, and I didn't even think it was going to go up that much.
That's what's up, dude. That's how good is that? You just randomly buy something. It's like buying a meme coin. It just goes up randomly. You're like, oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm here for it. Awesome. All right. Well, that sounds good. So you bought a silver coin. You've got into mining and Bitcoin. I guess we'll touch then on. So that's the 2025 review for you. What's then the plan for 2026?
Plan for 2026 is also to buy more Bitcoin and also get up to the 1 petahash level of mining. So that would be 10x what I currently have right now.
Right.
So it's just buying more miners, buying more hosted miners, and yeah, hooking all that up.
Some solar panels.
Yeah. Is that achievable in 2026, or is that a bit of a shoot for the moon type goal? Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Wicked. That sounds like fun. How about you, Ash? What was 2025 in review? Was there sort of a lot on your plate, or what kind of happened?
Mate, I think too much on my plate for 2025. I don't think I hit anything with the gusto that it required, to be honest. There's so much happening. So start of the year, started my business. It was already kind of running, but yeah, kind of got the job I was at, the company kind of went a bit pear-shaped. Basically, the owner stopped paying me, so I was kind of forced to go out and build my own company and make my own money. So did that. I'd say relatively successfully. I think the first year, I think revenue-wise was not what I wanted it to be, but certainly I think if you compare it to, I guess, a I would say like probably other freelancers, freelance consultants, is probably on par. So I'd say successful, but not my expectations. So I think that's building for next year. So we'll see how that goes. To add to that, we had another child. So I've got four boys now. So I've got my oldest is 17 and my youngest is now 6 months. So that was June, July thereabouts. I do remember his birthday. I'm just not giving it away. And then I guess on top of that, we built a house. So built that and moved in December. So January 28th, 29th thereabouts. So pretty much we just finished our first whole month in our brand new house. So that was a big one for us. In terms of investments, thanks, man. It was there's a whole episode just in talking about how to build a house and gotchas and
I bet.
builders.
Yeah.
A lot to it.
How to deal with a builder, but that was the bulk of it, and then just lots of little things throughout the year. So I dived back into Bitcoin. Got I was only about $500 worth, and I haven't really touched anything else for the year. It was very much a investment in business and my own learning kind of year. A lot of ChatGPT assisted learning as well. So it was a big year.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sounds pretty crazy. What's the plan then for 2026?
Yeah. So step one, steal underpants. Step two,
Yeah.
3, profit. That's number 3, the profit. That's the goal, right? But how to get there. So I think I've got my main business, and then some other things going on as well. So looking to really double down, or well, not really double down when I'm doing it full time anyway. But just really focus on that business and getting the core focus of the business in line. So as you and I are probably aware of other things going on, but we're very focused on where I'm going with my business, and I've got other businesses I'm starting or also running, which hoping to really kind of invigorate or get somewhere with this year as well. So I think there's quite a lot happening there. House-wise, it's all just gardens and lawn, and do all the kind of tidy up kind of stuff, make it look like it's presentable, and build some of that equity into the value of the home, so that in a few years' time we're in a good spot, and just building up some of that cash reserve. So that's really probably the biggest plans for 2026, I think, is just get a bit of that stability back, start to get some of those investments that we were doing a couple of years ago, like ETFs and stuff, start thinking about that again, utilizing some of the I guess the tools we have at hand, like NAB Equity Builder, for example. We've got a fantastic facility with them where you can you put in 10 grand and then they'll give you 40 grand on top of that. So you effectively have a 50 grand holding of ETFs, right? So that's something we're looking to get back into this year. But that's kind of the bulk of it.
Nice. Pretty intense. That sounds good. Lots going on there. I'll dive into
Tell us about your
2025. Yeah, it's been a year, to be honest. I took a job at the start of the year, and I'll talk about that a bit later. My own businesses have gone okay. I'd say they're fairly stable, smooth sailing, which is good, but also bad. It makes you feel like you haven't progressed, which is to me that really eats away at me, because I like sort of seeing that upwards chart. But staying the same while taking on a full-time role is, I guess that's inevitable. Better than going down, which is good. What else happened this year? A few days ago, just before the end of the year, I bought a car again, which is wonderful. Now having a
Is that in
car,
China?
which is no, in Australia. So
Oh yeah.
I've bought a car.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in China too.
No, I've got a car here that's not mine. It's my parents-in-law, but they sort of let me use it every now and then. So it's just parked at our apartment, and we just use it pretty much every now and then. Apart from that, we use like an electric scooter. But if we need to take the kid around anywhere, we use the car obviously because an electric scooter is probably not the safest option, although not frowned upon here, which is interesting. Saying that as well, I had my first kid this year, which was exciting and has taken a lot of things away from what I thought I would be doing to doing the complete opposite, basically. So massive curveball as far as time management is concerned, but all the better for it. If anyone's out there thinking, should I have a kid? Absolutely. It's super fun. They're just like a mini you that shits himself all the time. So, yeah, basically the same as me. Not much
Accurate
difference.
facts.
Yeah, I was like bold
yeah.
of you to think I don't do that already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's just like a mini me, which is dope. That was in May. I will also not say his exact birthday for privacy concerns. I bought a house this year a few months ago, which I'm going to be moving into early to mid next year. We'll say at the end of April, but it's probably going to be the first week of May. And I went pretty heavy as far as investments are concerned. I went very heavily into purchasing Bitcoin. I was previously buying a whole bunch of stuff, so XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, XLM, Dogecoin. I was sort of spraying and praying for the best, and I've changed my strategy a bit there. Put a fairly substantial amount of money into Bitcoin this year and just buy and hold. I'm not really big on the mining thing, not yet, but I might be one day. Just because I feel like I can see bigger returns from dropping, say, $5,000 into Bitcoin while it's low and seeing it go up by $10,000 and making a few grand out of it immediately. Then I can withdraw that and buy more or do whatever. So that's sort of my main strategy with Bitcoin this year. I also put a lot of money into stocks and ETFs. And it's been a big year for investments for me, and not so much on stability as far as investments are concerned, just buying more of the ones that I see working really well. The other major change that I had investment wise was completely refinancing everything that I had, which is what allowed me to actually buy more assets. Without that refinance, I wouldn't have been able to do half the amount of stuff that I was doing. So big shout out to my mortgage broker / financial advisor for helping out with that. That was really good. That saved me roughly $2,000 something a month. So
insane.
huge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that like a 1-2% kind of like decrease in your rates or something?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, about 2.5% decrease in
That's
how much
pretty good.
interest I was paying. Yeah, massive, massive. So, so that was good. Into 2026, obviously moving into the new house. Next week, I'm going back to Australia for a week. So if anyone wants to hang out, Ash, if you want to catch up, get a beer, do the podcast while drinking, that'd be mad. But yeah, next week going back to Australia to pick up my car, pack up all the stuff at my parents' house because they're getting the shits that I've left my shit in their house for 3 years, and they're like, when are you going to get it out? But most importantly, I realized today that my driver's license expires in like 3 weeks, and I can't renew it online. I have to renew it in person because it's been 10 years.
damn.
Yeah, it's been 10 years. I got to get a new photo. So that's a pain in the ass. But anyway, $1,500 later, flights to Brisbane and back to China. I'll be there for a
Right, now
week.
you can drive your new car.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm going to jump in the new car, drive it somewhere and park it in a secret location. But I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I
Enjoy your
was
new
just
Lambo.
talking, yeah, definitely a
Oh
Lambo. I've
yeah,
got
it's definitely a Lambo.
my full vlogging set ready to go, which I'm super keen on because I haven't done like proper vlogs for ages. And that's something else that
You
I'm
buy
sort
another
of
van.
concentrating. Did I what?
Yeah, back in
Buy
the
another
hacker van
van.
days.
The hacker van, bro.
Now
The
it's the hacker Lambo.
Suzuki Carry. That thing was dope. But yeah, I mean that video of me singing in that van made like 600,000 views. So that was awesome. But yeah, it was the sort of plan going into 2026 as far as like all of this is concerned is investment wise, I think I'll see a lot more stability and less chaos. This is my hope. So first things first, I am about, I hope my current boss is watching this. I'm about 80 to 90% sure, closer to 90% sure that I'm going to leave that company because I don't think I can take the emotional damage, mental damage from that place anymore.
Shout
So
out.
shout out to you if you're watching this. I hope
Yeah.
you are. I'll definitely post this on my LinkedIn so they can see it. And yeah, going into really pushing harder on the businesses, which may or may not be the dumbest decision I've ever made. But I don't think it will be. I think it's a very calculated bet here. It's really just pending one thing, one major change, and a lot of other things are going to fall into place. The only investment I'll be making in 2026 is probably buying more Bitcoin so I can get closer to my goal of having a single coin, which is that's really what I want to do, as well as bringing down the interest on my bringing down the interest on the loans that I have. So paying off the offsets so that, or putting as much money into the offset so I pay less interest on the home loans, and yeah, really just sort of focusing on that, as well as potentially buying one more apartment, which I've talked about in previous videos. The 1 or 2 bedroom unit within 2 kilometers of the Brisbane CBD. I have my eyes on it. I hope the conversations go well. I just need to keep those conversations up, basically, and hope for the best. But that's really it. A few other things, sort of looking towards doing this year, is I need to renew my Italian passport, because I have some future plans for that, which I guess
So
now
how
is
do you?
probably a good time. Yeah.
What do you have
Sorry,
to
go
do
on.
to renew that? Do you have to like make a bowl of spaghetti and
Yeah.
meatballs? Like, how does that look like? Do you have to
You
fly
need
the
to
Louis? Like, what do you need to do, mate?
cradle the balls of the statue of David. You need to just be like, yes. No, that's not it. It's
I believe you got your own statue.
yeah. Yeah, it's a dope statue. No, none of that. No spaghetti, no ball fondling. Just going to the Italian consulate general and getting it sorted. Going in there and signing the document, paying the money. That's it.
No
So the
wine,
reason I
no
got that, yeah,
spaghetti.
no wine. Yeah, a little sip of Lambrusco, a little
No,
shot of Galliano
Yeah.
later, and slurping
no
some noodles,
chance.
and it's fucking al dente, mate. But no,
Just
none of
show him
that.
your Lambo keys.
I don't have a Lambo, bro. I'm not a twat. Although, saying that, not a Lambo, but I do really want to buy a Lotus Elise. The Elise Sport R. They're about 50 grand in Australia. They've got a Toyota Kluger engine, so the V6
Ooh,
engine that the Klugers have.
have a
Some of
Kluger.
them have, yeah, some of them have turbo, some of them don't. They weigh just under 1,000 kilos, so a ton. They're so fun, dude. They're like a little go-kart. I really want to buy one and just like full black it out, like stealth it, and black windows, black wrap, black wheels, everything black, huge wing on the back, full obnoxious. I'd love to do that, but I need to come up with 50K. So yeah, if I can do that, amazing. If I can convince my wife to allow me to buy a car, that would be an even bigger feat of achievement. But yeah, I'd love to do that, but I highly doubt it. So the reason, going back to the Italian passport, is because I've recently started thinking about, like, what do I want to do when I've sort of finished with the work. I've basically retirement. What do I want to do in, like, I don't know, 20 years, however many years, maybe 10 years. I don't know when I'll retire. What do I want to do? I thought about it. I was like, I want to go and spend, like, maybe a few years, or even the holiday years, the holiday time over the years, as my kid grows older and goes into school and high school and whatever, in those holiday periods, I'd love to go to Italy for like a month every year. That'd be dope. Or somewhere in Europe, because it kind of covers, you can go to a lot of places in Europe for a longer period of time. Now, I don't need an
Yeah, we
Italian
got the
passport for that.
Schengen area, right?
Yeah. I don't need an
Free
Italian
pass.
passport for
Yeah.
that. I can use my Australian passport for that. However, being a property junkie, I would love to buy a small apartment or something in one of those, like, Sicilian beach towns like Taormina, or anywhere really along the coastline. Amalfi Coast, maybe. Lake Como, maybe. I don't know, maybe closer to Croatia, or all those other places, the Greek islands, Cyprus, if I want to do some tax stuff. Having that passport allows me and gives me a bit of extra freedom as far as where I'd like to live or do things. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for me in 2026, is to get that, continue with that passport, and really continue on with a bit more stability in investments.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
sweet.
wow.
Yeah. That way you
Yeah, I
can
hope
kind of
so.
have your Australian base, your Chinese base, and then your European base.
Exactly. You're on the exact same page as me, mate. That's the
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, the European base, the Asia base, and the Australia base, because there's nothing else around there apart from New Zealand.
Oceania.
Yeah, Oceania, yeah, which is Australia, New Zealand. So
All your base
um,
belong to us.
that's it. That's it.
Mhm.
So having multiple base places, I think, is a cool thing to do. It's just something that's in my mind. I think having that freedom is something I'll thank myself for later in the future.
Speaking
Speaking of the future, and
mate,
on that sort of topic more, what are the biggest changes you guys have seen in your life this year? In the year just finished, what were the biggest changes?
definitely working for
Who's
myself.
working
That
for
was the big
yourself?
one. Yep,
Is this the
100%.
first time you've, like, full-time worked for yourself?
Yep, 100%. Tried it once or twice, but it probably only lasted a few months thereabouts. But this year it was the first time it was full year basically already. So and still going. So I've got a full next 3 to 6 months is basically blocked out with contracted work. So that's pretty successful. I think for me that's been a life changer, having the business. Maybe not having the cash flow I want, but having the business. It is very much a lifestyle kind of role for me. I don't work full time. It is full time, but it's not every day 9 to 5. It's kind of yes, I'm always thinking about it. It's always on my mind, but I'm not actively working every day 9 to 5 on this business.
It's pure freedom.
It gives
It's so good, isn't
100%,
it?
and yeah, it
You can
is.
be like,
It's
I'm going
very
to go
much
out for lunch.
yeah,
Bugger it.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't have
coming
anywhere
back
to
to
Or the
work this
be.
beach, like you
afternoon.
just did.
Yeah. Go to the beach. Yeah, just I've got I've certainly got meetings and things with clients and all that kind of stuff, but it's very flexible, right? So if I'm delivering a project, then there's probably a little bit more rigidity in terms of time, and when I'm in front of the computer and 9 to 5 and whatnot. But outside of that, I go to a lot of networking events, which is probably more social more than anything. So I think there's that. There's the health and lifestyle factors as well. So being at home most of the year, really, being around the family, being available if I need to. Like if the wife needs to go to an appointment or something, and I'm at home with the baby, like there's not an issue there. So it's just little things like that. Big change in lifestyle as a result of it. Yeah, that's probably 100% the biggest thing for me.
And this is sort of the main reason why I want to get back to full-time working for myself, or working alongside someone else who can try and keep me accountable when I need to be, basically. But it's just really the main thing is that freedom. Like it's such a better lifestyle. And I'll give you an example. In the last 1 year of working for someone else compared to the last 3 years prior where I was working for myself, in the 1 year working for someone else, I have gained 22 kilos.
Whoa.
22 kegs, bro. You know how hard it is going to be to get that weight off? It's not just lifestyle, it's really health and mental health working for yourself.
I know a guy.
While it's hard, yeah. It's, oh man, it sucks. It's like, because you're stuck here all the time doing the things for someone else, you don't have the freedom to just get up and be like, I'm going to go for a bike ride when you really feel like it. Or I'm going to go for a run or a walk or a swim or whatever, which I used to do a lot. I'd just be like, hey, Ange, do you want to go to, the local gym? We'll go for a swim. She'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And you just go. Like, you just get up and go. I can't do that now. I'm stuck here on my desk, and it's horrible.
It's
and it's torture.
an interesting thing. I 100% agree with you. It is torture when you're living someone else's 9 to 5, right? To make them money. But I think in a previous role I had, I specifically blocked out 10 to 11. That's when I'm going to gym. Do not disturb. I'm going to the gym at that particular time, right? And part of it is that time management. But the problem with that is everyone has to kind of agree to it and understand that, hey, that time is kind of sacred, right? And as soon as someone says, "Oh, but this is more important," like if you don't have that little bit of autonomy to say, "No, I'm doing this at this time," kind of. And you get that obviously working for yourself, but I think there's some roles, some companies where you can have that autonomy as well, but
For sure.
Probably
few and far between, though.
100%.
Yeah, I think in like sales roles you get that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, sales roles or HR. This is going to start my hatred for HR. For bad HR. I'll be very clear. Bad
We can
HR.
have a whole episode on that. With the three of us, I think we can fill a whole episode with that.
Can we invite Ash's wife in, seeing as she is a HR professional?
Decline.
But she's a good one. The thing is, she does it right, and a lot of people don't, and I'm sure it would piss her off as well, just how bad some HR departments are. Where, don't get me going, I'll be going for hours. But Bobby, what was the biggest changes in your life in 2025?
In my life, for 2025, it's passion and purpose, really. In June, I started tracking a bunch of habits that I would like to do more often, and that's helped a lot. That has brought me to reading books constantly, getting off social media, and getting all the distractions out of my life. Lately, YouTube, I'm trying to get that out of my life. Because it's great for a lot of stuff, but oh my god, you can just be on that forever, just constantly scrolling.
I watch a lot of YouTube. Yeah.
I need a book, like a book recommendation. What was your number one book of the year?
Oh,
Number one book of the year?
You
Most
can give me two or three.
fascinating. The most fascinating was probably the Genesis book, which ironically, as we record this, it's January 3rd, which is Genesis Day, the day that the first Bitcoin block was ever mined. And
damn.
that book talks about the cypherpunk movement of the like 1990s that led to stuff like PGP and then
Ooh,
eventually Bitcoin. That was really fascinating.
I'd love to read that. That sounds actually really cool.
that
Be
sounds like a
right up
fun
my
book.
alley.
Yeah, definitely.
I've actually got my best book of the year here, and it's a hard one because I really enjoy Jack London's Call of the Wild. I reread that every now and then. I reread that this year, in 2025 anyway, and it was as good as it's always been. But I think I'll give it to this one. There's a new book that I got. It's called Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi. Um, it was a really good book on just general sales, and sales is something that I've had a lot more in my mind recently and would like to focus on a bit more in the future. It's something that I wanted to learn about. It's not really my strong point. I would say community and talking to people, like customer satisfaction, is definitely my stronger points. But putting a hard sale on people is a skill that I would like to get better at. I wouldn't say I'm bad at it. I just wouldn't. I'd say there's room for improvement. So that's sort of why I got that book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was super cheap as well. I think I paid, the book was free, but you pay for postage, or you can download it for free as well. I think I'm sure there's websites out there where it's available for free. If it's supposed to be or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's a good book. Definitely one worth checking out. How about you, Ash? What was your
Love
best
that.
book this year?
Well, it was so like crazy, but fuck you.
Was it
So
actually?
yeah, so I bought the hard copy as well. It was one
Oh,
I
damn.
really enjoyed. Yeah, it was. I think
Beat
we
you
ended
to
up
it.
talking about it at the same time. Another
Oh,
one.
true.
So I look. Most of my books are Audible books, to be honest. So I'm a bit lazy, but I've got a lot more time in the car now. So a lot more books going on. Now I've got a few here. So probably one of my favorites of the year, "The Hard Thing About Hard Things" by Ben Horowitz. That was
Oh, I've
really
heard that's really
interesting.
good.
Yeah, I've heard of
Uh,
that. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And another one, and let me just grab it. It was "Principles" by Ray Dalio. So I'm not sure if you've come
Oh,
across Ray
nice.
Dalio, but
Yeah,
I
I
really,
read How Countries Go Broke by Ray Dalio this year.
yeah. So I haven't read that one. I'm gonna have to check that one out. But
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's
both of
about
those
the
were.
debt cycles.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, that was really good. A listen, really. For me, it was a great listen. I honestly can't even remember what it was about, but I just remember it was just such a great book. Um, Lots of baseball references. I can't even remember who Ray Dalio is or what he did, to be honest. But it's escaped me at the moment. But yeah, just it was a really good book. Highly recommend it. And the other one, and this is a really interesting one, "Getting Things Done" by David Allen. So he's got this thing called GTD, or Getting Things Done, and it's a whole kind of framework to, I won't say run your life, but certainly organizing organizing things. Let's put it that way. So it started out with your inbox, and this also led to me buying actual in trays. So your old plastic in trays that sit on your desk. So I've got
Yeah.
3 or 4 on one side and 3 on the other, and it's like I've got an actual in tray. Then it's like to file, to shred, read later, projects, that kind of thing. So,
So are you
um,
printing out emails and putting them in there, or
oh
what?
hell no, 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 the email inbox as well is also sorted into different folders as well. But he's also got this way of, I guess, filing things away. So I've got a lot of, I've actually got a filing cabinet. So this is probably one of the things I did, spend a bit of time on this year, is actually filing things properly in the filing cabinet. So I went through so many documents this year that I've just been collecting over the last 10 years or something. So things like share statements. Superannuation things, anything from ATO, just different documents you get sent and you think, oh, I better keep that just in case. And I went through all of that and, filed it into different years. So you had like 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, etc. And then different categories. So things like, manuals, things like warranties and receipts. So just having separate filing systems for that. So a lot of it was just, filing systems and things like that. But I found a lot of help in that. It was quite interesting. Not sure. I've definitely fallen off the bandwagon with it, and if you look at my desk right now, it certainly it doesn't align with anything from that book. But it was all, when I first started my business, it was quite helpful. Got me thinking in the right frame of mind, and it's probably something worth picking up again at the start of the year.
Absolutely. I'll add one more book to the list of amazing books for anyone to read out there. It's called The First Client Formula. It's by me. It's on start.tcep.app, or you can buy it on Amazon if you really want. I've had lots of good reviews about the book, which is why I wanted to
Yeah, that's
mention it.
great.
And it's free. So yeah, go and grab yourself a copy of that. Not really a plug because I'm not selling anything, but yeah, it's a good book. Go have a read. If starting your own cybersecurity consultancy is something you're interested in, bit of self plug there. Don't mind if I do. I guess what I'd like to ask now, going through the list of stuff, let's dive into some of the more deeper topics. Specifically, there's one on the list here that I want to get to first, which is, what do we think AI is going to do in 2026? I think that's a very interesting topic to talk about because it could go, one of many ways. I'll give my personal opinion first. I reckon it's going to get started to be complianced the hell out. I reckon compliance in industry is going to start really pushing down or pushing back against it. That's my prediction. What do you guys think of that? What do you reckon? What do you think's going to happen to AI this year?
I think it's actually not going to get complianced out this last year, at least in America, because I know Trump signed some bill that a stipulation of it was that no state can put regulations on AI companies, and I was like, that's strange, but yeah, we're
That's
trying to
nuts.
build up AI, so I guess, yeah, screw all regulation. Let's just run this shit hot.
Do you reckon robotics and AI are going to become a bigger thing? I
Oh yeah,
reckon they will.
definitely.
I reckon they will. I reckon
Okay,
we're
here's another
years
book read.
away. Oh yeah.
Another book read here, and it's called Novacine. I just got it in my list here. It is a fantastic book, and I can't remember who it's by, but Novacine is great.
Okay. What's it about?
Brian Appleyard and James Lovelock. So this guy, I think it's Brian Appleyard, James Lovelock. So yeah, one of them is a scientist and fantastic write up, effectively, of I guess when intelligence and when I say intelligence, like AI, when AI and current human might merge. And I think some of the ideas from that book. So this was published in 2019, so it's a few years old now. But a few of the ideas, if I recall correctly, were that we moving forward, the next not species, but you got humans, but then you got robots. But there's going to be this merge between the two, and you think like, yeah, think iRobot, where you got like Will Smith with his like robotic arm kind of thing. So I think there's going to be a period of that, where there's this bionic people, if you will, and then he talks about potentially a merge of robotics and human species, and it's just really fascinating, really fascinating. I don't know if we're getting to that. We're definitely not getting to that next year, but yeah, maybe in 10, 20, 50 years time. Really interesting to see what happens there.
Nice.
Not quite. I don't think we're quite there yet.
It's a long way off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recently saw a clip from Terminator, and I'm like, I think I want to watch those movies again. It's been a long time since I've seen Terminator.
Terminator's so good. Yeah, right. So AI aside, then, do we have any predictions for? Let's just stick to Bitcoin. Let's not bother with other cryptocurrencies. Predictions for 2026 cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, I think, is. I reckon it's going to drop. I reckon next year is going to be a year where it just tanks. I'm talking like 70,000 or lower US dollars.
50.
I think, yeah, 50 is
Wow.
pretty accurate
50.
target, I think. Yeah. That's my
I
prediction.
said this a few weeks ago. And you guys like, nah, not a chance. But you can see it happening now, right?
I've come
I
around.
think
Yeah, I
yeah.
can see the trend. I think it's dropping.
And this is
It
all.
has to, yeah.
I've got absolutely no TA, no fundamentals or anything behind this. I'm just like looking at it, going, history repeats, right? And looking at the trend graphs, but no real accurate analysis.
Yeah.
I'm just picking it, right? I think I've just got a feeling that's where I think it's going.
Well, I also don't have TA, and I don't really believe in TA, to be honest. But I think the fundamentals are there for it to rip, because I mean, Jerome Powell is going to get out of office. We're going to have super low interest rates once what is it, Kevin Hassett, I think, is probably going to go in, and Trump is going to want to run this economy hot. So I think that it's going to rip. But if it goes lower, I will be very happy, because I will be buying it up like crazy.
So
I think.
So I hope you're right,
hopeful.
but I don't think you are.
Look, I'm hopeful as well. I want to buy up big again. I definitely see long term. We're heading, back up to 100, back over 200, 500 million, whatever.
Yep.
But don't want to get left behind. I think best to just be in it rather than speculate and try and time it, because worst thing you do is buy at the high and sell at the low. So
100%. And that's really it for me as well. Is like, I think if it does get lower, and I kind of hope it does. I mean, if it goes higher, amazing. It's higher at the moment. It was like 90,000 today, I think, up from 88 or 87, which was amazing. But I think it's going down. And if it does go down, I am going to buy so much of it. I'm gonna go absolutely balls deep into Bitcoin, buy a stupid amount of it, just so I can, in the future, when it does go back to 100 or 100 plus, 200, 1 million, 10 million, I don't know. I've seen lots of different predictions. I'll have some cash there or something to hand over to either my kid if everything else is turned to shit, or I'll use it myself as my retirement fund.
So, good
yeah.
question. We didn't have this in the notes, but gold this year, like 5 or 6 times the price.
I think, yeah.
That's
I think
insane,
it did
right?
more than that, but yeah, it's
massive.
I did actually buy gold this year as well. Like in February, 2nd of February of 2025, I bought a solid ounce of physical gold. Like I didn't buy stocks. I bought an actual gold brick. I can go and get it if you guys want to see it. It's I wear it as a necklace because I'm just that kind of douchebag. But that was kind of the point I bought it for, is because I wanted to have like a physical asset that I could that was different to everything else that I had. So I didn't have any, gold apart from this like little bracelet thingy. That's it. And that's not even solid gold. This is a solid gold, 99.9% pure gold ounce of
I think
thing.
you'll need some more gold chains for when you get that Italian visa.
That's it. Maybe it's one of the prerequisites these days. I don't know. But
It's a gold meatball.
yeah, okay. But anyway, it's the gold I think was interesting because I didn't expect it to go up. I bought it for myself as a birthday present because that's why I remember the date, because that was my birthday. I was like, I'm gonna buy myself a gift. I don't ever really buy myself gifts for anything. This year, just stuff it. I'm gonna buy myself a gold block. So I was looking around. I was originally going to get a gold necklace, big, chain linked one, whatever. And I was like, these look gay. I'm just going to look like some gangster wannabe douchebag. So I got this one. It's like a black rope with the bullion on it, and it's got like a pattern on it. I was like, that's cool. It's discreet, but it's not really that discreet. It's just, I think it's cool. I'll bring it to Australia and I'll show you, Ash, when I see you. But it's cool, yeah. And that's gone up heaps. That cost me like, I think it was like $5,000 or something at the time, 4,800, and it's definitely gone up since then. It's sort of like about a month after that, it went up to, I can't even remember. It was about 5,300, and now it's like 5,400 or 5,500 US dollars per ounce. And I spent 4,800 Australian. So I was over the moon. I'm like, this is fantastic. This thing's worth heaps now. How good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's gone up like 70% in the last year, and silver's gone up
Holy
like 130. Yeah.
damn. Well,
Yeah. Precious
that's
metals
dope.
are going crazy.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? That's probably the more important topic here. Why do you think that metals are going crazy, especially recently?
DDR memory.
Actually,
Yeah, I have heard that's partially why silver has been going up, because it has more industrial uses than gold. That's why it's been going up more than gold. But yeah,
Look,
I don't know.
I'm a big investor in whey protein isolate, which is a type of protein powder.
this guy.
But even this, I think just in general, everything's doubled in price this year. And I say WPI powder because I do consume a fair bit of liquid protein, and I used to be able to buy this stuff for around $35 a kilo. This isn't a drug. This is just protein powder. Okay, and now it's anywhere between $60 to $80 per kilo, and it's actually making me go, well, how am I meant to maintain my protein nutrient intake, for maintaining muscle and building muscle and that kind of stuff, when it costs so much? Like, it's, I've got to get I've got to reduce some of my lifestyle, I guess, potentially to work more and get more jobs, to pay to have the right nutrition. Like, it's insane. If food is now twice the price, and it's not just this protein powder, even meat, like meat here in Australia. I used to buy a 5-6 kilogram like rump steak, like full rump, so it's a big piece of rump steak. It used to be about $10 a kilo at the local butcher, but now you're looking at anywhere up to $20 to $30 for the same thing. So definitely doubled, maybe even tripled the price for steak, and that's not even buying at Coles, right? You go to Coles, you're paying 30, 40, $50 a kilo for most meat. So it's pretty insane. The cost of living has just doubled, if not tripled, in Australia in this last year, I reckon.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, they were talking about the debasement trade, which was buying gold and Bitcoin because of the debasement of the dollar. Um, yeah, as they print more and more money, then your dollar is worth less, and I'm sure there's something similar in Australia.
I think even just on the even the protein side of things, that there's actually like a lack of supply as well. I don't think about it's certainly all the precious metals and stuff. People are starting to invest in these things. There's a little less supply because it's high demand to get invested in this kind of stuff, right? And it's the same for protein. It's like food is totally not what this podcast is about, but I love food. And protein is one of those things. But I think more people are cottoning on to the idea that high protein diets are better for you in some ways, depending on how you look at things. But having the right amount of protein in your diet is becoming more expensive. So people are looking at different ways of doing that, and certainly supplementation with protein powders has been a big thing this year. I think certainly been a lot more in the news as far as I've seen anyway, and that's the same with everything else. I think the general media, news, social media, all that kind of stuff. You're seeing a lot of this stuff more often where people are starting to understand how the world works. How gold and all these other investment types are making people lots of money. And as soon as you see these things on social media or the news, or whatever, they're going up in price, or whatever. Everyone wants to get in on it. So there's a bit of FOMO there, I think, or everyone wants to try it, and that creates demand. Demand increases prices. So I wonder if that's got something to do with it.
I'd say so. I think that's basically it in a nutshell. Is that as demand increases, the price goes up. It's supply and demand, um, and that's really what it all sort of comes down to. So let's sort of look towards wrapping this up. Let's go with the final topic, which is any other insights or predictions for the year specific to politics. Do we have any political predictions that we would like to drop in here? Bobby, you can go first, seeing as the US is always a fun topic.
Oh, yes, definitely. At least a topic that the entire world cares about. Unlike your Aussie politics, electing the new kangaroo or whatever y'all do.
Mate, let's drop this guy.
So I think for 2026, it's a midterm, so we're having some elections, and I've heard some people predict a blue wave of more Democrats getting elected, and there's some senators and Congress people that are planning on not running because of that. So that's really all I can think about.
Predictions for then Australia. Do we have any predictions? I have one prediction, which I'd like
Here we
to
go.
announce. I reckon Albo is gonna get voted out by his own party.
Oh, we started this again, are we?
Wow.
It's wouldn't be the first time that the Labor government
No.
has voted themselves out. So yeah, that's what I
from
reckon.
what I've heard from the Aussies I know, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, so the Australian ambassador to the United States is the guy who kicked this off in the first place, old Kevin
Yeah.
Rudd. So we had Kevin Rudd, go to Julia Gillard, back to Kevin Rudd. I don't know what happened after that. I think we went back to Liberal government. We had what's his name, Tony
we
Abbott.
had Tony Abbott for a while.
Was it who's that other dude? Malcolm
Murdoch, Turnbull, Malcolm
Malcolm,
Turnbull.
Malcolm Turnbull. Who about after that? I can't remember. It was Scott Morrison.
Yeah, then we had ScoMo, and then
he stuffed it
everyone
up
got
with
worried that
COVID.
Voldemort would get in, but he didn't. So then Albo got in, and And yeah, it's
Albo's
been
gone
interesting.
two terms. Albo's had the
I have one
longest
more prediction, actually.
term
I
for
reckon
ages.
an independent party is going to make,
Ooh,
they're going to make a lot of the Senate. I reckon they're
ooh.
going to infiltrate. I reckon they're going to get a lot of votes.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I reckon that's fairly.
Yeah, One Nation is certainly, I think, making a strong push there. I think this might be the year that, well, it won't be this year really because there's no election this year, but I think you'll see One Nation, yeah, really pushing in the next
Yep.
election. I think, certainly, we had some terrible things happen last month here in Australia with Bondi and whatnot. But I think events like that really help the messaging for parties like One Nation. I don't agree with everything One Nation says, but it certainly it puts things into perspective. Um, there's I very much am one of those people. I happy with everyone here and invite everyone here, but I think there's some messaging that One Nation has got right. I think there's plenty more of it which is borders on hate speech, but I think there'll be a lot more people siding towards Pauline Hanson and some of the things she says over the next year.
So what kind
I
of
think
party
you're
is
right.
One Nation?
They're very they're
Depends who
like
you
Trump.
talk to.
Well, like, what are their core tenets? Like, what do they believe?
Yeah, they're like Trump.
They very much like traditional. I'll be very careful with how I say this. Traditional Australian values,
Okay.
to the point of on the edge of hate speech and or racism, depending on
Oh,
which side of the
okay.
fence you're sitting on and how you view what they say. That's how I would put it very politically. But I think you're right. I think One Nation will do very well. I think lots of the independents will do well. What I'm concerned about, though, is if they were to get a lot of votes, or if, for example, Labor does kick out the leader, Albanese, and someone else comes in, how will this potentially impact the markets of Australia? For example, mining, not Bitcoin mining, but actual mining, housing, tourism, and education, those sort of markets.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting one. I think there's a lot going on, not just with all those things, but just in general as well. You got the Olympics coming up in 2032. Yeah, the housing's going to be a big one. Sydney and Melbourne at the moment, I think it's official. They're going backwards in terms of house prices. So I think I just read an article this morning about that actually. So it's pretty official now. Like Sydney and Melbourne are going backwards. Not just
Melbourne
not just
definitely is, but Sydney hasn't
yeah.
yet.
Yeah, no, it's this is something I read in the paper this morning. So, and not just in terms of housing prices, but I think socially as well. I think both
Oh, I
cities
agree
are
with that.
socially going backwards, and you come to Brisbane and everything's right way around, and then all the Melbourne and Sydney people here as well. It's it's a stark contrast between the cities.
Absolutely. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting year, 2026. I think and this is sort of a good segue as well to next week's topic, which is Bitcoin versus property. What are you buying in 2026? I think that'll be a really good discussion based off the politics, based off the potential drop in Bitcoin, or maybe it goes up. Who knows? The different commodity stocks, ETFs, uh, rare metals, everything. Maybe we should add in there Bitcoin versus property versus everything else. As what are you buying in 2026? I think we'll leave it there and we'll discuss that topic on the next video. Thanks everyone for coming along. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you. Please do subscribe, like, comment below if you have any questions. and I'll read them out actually in the next video. We did have a couple of comments in one of the last videos. One was about mining, and another one said that we are all monetarily immature, and someone said that you're an idiot, to me specifically. So I'll take it. Thank
It's
you.
true.
But yeah, I mean, it's 100% true. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what this whole pod is about. Not me being an idiot, but sort of us as a group learning about investments and maybe trying to make some wins. None of us are professionals in these areas. We're just doing our best. So none of this is financial advice. It's literally us just trying to do something to make a difference in our own lives. And if that upsets you, then I'm sorry, Snowflake. So, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Peace out. Have a good one. And that's a wrap.